Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Your Average Critics, joined currently by Chris and Obi. I think Ollie's going to join us later.
Boo.
Boo. Had a good week?
Well, it's been alright.
My week's been solid, mate. Can't complain. I'm alive. I'm healthy-ish.
Good.
So, it's always a good way to go.
Good.
Yeah.
Chris, healthy?
And Arsenal can upset me this weekend, so that's always good.
Yeah. And England, meh. Don't give a care.
Sorry. Fuck the English national team, not England itself.
Yes. And you don't want to say that, especially on Remembrance Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
So shout out to all you war veterans. Thank you for keeping us safe. We've got some film news this week. We haven't had any for a while. Where should we start? So, based on resulting from the allegations of surrounding Kevin Spacey, who's kind of admitted them in a sense. The upcoming film which he was going to star in, called All the Money in the World, directed by Ridley Scott, about the Getty, the grandson of Mr. Getty being kidnapped. They are reshooting all of his scenes with Christopher Plummer, and the film's coming out in like 3 or 4 weeks. And you said it was going to cost like 10 million?
Yeah, someone said it's going to cost about 10 million.
So what do we think? Like, are they doing this to save their film, or?
Well, someone made a good point that they're doing it just so they can get an Oscar nomination. Cause...
Yeah, but the Oscar was going to be for Kevin Spacey that they wanted to put him up for.
Yes.
So that's assuming that Christopher Plummer's performance is as good, right?
I suppose they can always put him up still, can't they?
Yeah. I think it's quite.
Does it cost to nominate yourself?
There'll probably be kind of promotion costs, won't there?
I was thinking about this the other day, about the Oscars thing. Sorry, just to segue quickly. Are there any films right now that people are like, yeah, this is tipped for an Oscar? Because we haven't watched that many. I feel like we haven't watched that many films that are Oscar worthy.
No,
year.
they don't normally come out until around January, do they? Well, not in the UK.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw a couple at the London Film Festival which were like tipped. So there's Breathe, the one with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
And then Shape of Water, which is a Guillermo del Toro one. Did I tell you about that one? It's like about the woman who falls in love with like this merman sort of thing.
No, you haven't told us about that.
Mate, it is so weird.
Is it? Oh god.
And then there's also Downsizing with Matt Damon. You might have seen the trailer.
Ollie was telling me about that, but I haven't seen it.
And then
Downsizing with Matt Damon.
Yeah, they become small. To help overcrowding.
Yeah.
And then there's one called Call Me By Your Name. I think it's like a kind of drama about two men who kind of fall in love.
Oh.
They're the ones that I've heard from the London Film Festival.
I'll probably go and watch them more because it was interesting doing the talk last year.
Yeah, definitely.
That's still my favourite podcast of all the ones we've done. The one we talked about the Oscar films.
Yeah, predictions, innit?
Yeah.
And then we'll get them right. We'll do another one of those when it'll be about a year.
By the way, guys.
Yeah.
I was listening back to a few of our podcasts just because, our podcast is fucking sick, so applaud to yourselves. I fucking love listening to us chatting. It's fantastic. We deserve more listens, that's what I'm saying.
We do, and we deserve 5-star reviews, which you can, leave us on SoundCloud.
The new Apple X is out in new iPhone X is out in Bromley.
Go to the Apple Store. Do my thing.
Yeah.
Well, we have actually over 1,000 listeners now,
Jeez.
because obviously subtracting your 65.
Oh, subtracting the 65.
Yeah.
Decent.
So leave us a 5-star review on SoundCloud and also iTunes under Your Average Critics. We're doing this spiel at the beginning rather than the end. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at YC Podcast 17. And hope you enjoy listening to us as much as we enjoy listening to ourselves.
Yeah.
But so Oscar contenders, we'll probably won't find out quite yet. But
I'd love for Matt Damon to
I
win
think
one.
something like, and again, it's got Spacey in it, but Baby Driver. I mean, we'll do an end of year review.
If that was up for it and it's not going to be up for it because of Kevin Spacey.
That's it, that's one of my favourites this year, actually.
But I think his performance wouldn't be like nominated. It'd be the film or the soundtrack.
Or Edgar
Wright.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So, ironically enough, I was actually watching a video on YouTube about Baby Driver and about the ending. So obviously, I feel like we interpreted the ending quite black and white, as in like what's happening on the screen.
Why was it
happening in real life?
More of a metaphor.
Do we think that like looking back on it, do you think the ending was actually what happened, or do you think that was what he was imagining in his head?
So this is where Ansel Elgort's baby gets sent to prison, and then he comes out, and Lily James is still. Deborah, is that her name? Deborah.
Yeah, I think you can interpret it like 3 ways really. One, it did happen, and they just wanted to have a nice ending for baby, and then you can have another ending where I suppose that's what he pictures for when he comes out, and then I suppose the third one could be what she imagines, I guess.
I think Ansel Elgort, this might be wrong, but I think Ansel Elgort himself said that he thinks that it was all in baby's head.
Well, if you think
about the whole thing,
no, just the end.
Because he was supposed to be in prison for several years.
25 years.
25 years, and they both come out and they're exactly the same age. And you think in a lot of films they will try and make the actors look older. So in that respect, it kind of does fit that it could be like a fantasy because they're the same age. He remembers her being.
Be mad if she waited 25 years for him.
Although I am still disappointed by the ending. A little bit because
they went on the bridge and they got caught.
It should have ended when they got caught.
Yeah, it should have ended when they're just driving away.
Either that, I think when, because I watched the ending again the other day. I need to watch that film again because that film was really good. But when they're seemingly driving to the sunset, and then you just hear the police pulling up, and then Deborah's face is all in a panic, and so is babies. I think it just ended there.
I was just about to say, do you not think that would have been really frustrating had you seen them driving off and then just a load of police cars behind them and then it ended?
I would have liked that.
No,
I feel like I would have liked that.
Then you could have imagined your own. This is what we just do
true.
a Be Kind rewind thing. Where we just
we can give it a go.
Oh, thank.
I think our website designers are going to come to hopefully next week's podcast if we're doing it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Cool. Shout out Connor and Jack, innit?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the Kevin Spacey recasting. Is it a smart move, or is it like, are they deflecting the attention?
Oh, that's really jarring me. It's wonky. I think it's probably politically it's a good move, isn't it? Like it's probably sound to change it.
Yeah.
However, you're never going to erase him from. I suppose you've got to do it now, don't you? That he's been announced that he is, but they must have real confidence in this film to waste 10 million. I suppose 10 million is minuscule in a film budget.
If you think about it, so I saw Murder on the Orient Express last Sunday, and this trailer, the trailer for this film was before it, and there was an audible groan in the audience when his name came up.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I think it's a smart move because it might cost them an extra 10 million, but if they kept Kevin Spacey in it, this film is not going to make much money. So they could possibly, I don't know how much the film cost to make in total, but they could basically save themselves that money. People will spend money to go and see it now that he's not in it.
Okay then, I'll flip on that then. Do you think House of Cards, this season's House of Cards, is going to have significantly less viewers?
I think I said last week, I just don't think they're going to be able to go through with it.
No, but they've got a season, haven't they, finished that they can publish?
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were still filming it.
What?
Because I heard that production.
I thought it was still in production.
Oh, really? Oh.
Might be completely.
Because we had a conversation about whether they're going to kill him off screen or,
I mean, hypothetically they could, but they just might as well just leave it.
I think actually it would be it would be an okay ending if Claire says my turn. Because then that, to end the entire thing.
Or
do you want a season of her basically doing the same thing that Frances Underwood would do?
Well, the thing is, what you could do is you could have not necessarily Kevin Spacey in it. You could have like his back turned in most scenes. You could do like flashbacks of Claire like figuring out that Spacey's playing her, but not have Spacey in it. Just have the back. Not him on the phone or something.
That's too obvious.
Do you think?
Yeah.
And then she kills him off or something. I don't know.
Too obvious. It's like when I was watching 2.5 Men and they got the finale 2.5 Men.
Oh, that is so shit.
And they got the Charlie Sheen body double. Like, it's way too obvious. Like I wouldn't want to watch that, to be honest.
Unless they just CGI'd his face. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of.
Or they could just replace him. Like
get someone. I already hope they don't.
You don't want them to. What if they get someone who looks exactly like him?
Because he's not. It's not.
Let me
not. I don't condone any of the stuff that Kevin Spacey has done or is doing right now or in the past, but acting wise,
he's great.
He's fantastic. Like as Frank Underwood, he was absolutely fantastic, and I don't think anyone can replicate his performance as Frank Underwood.
It's a shame. Not a shame. in one respect, you look back at his career and like 7 Usual Suspects, and those films are for at least the foreseeable future. When people watch them back, they're going to be tainted. Like even when Ollie was talking about Pay It Forward last week, he said, you know, a great film, and he's like, oh, shit, it's got Kevin Spacey in. You know, even we're talking about Baby Driver. Oh yeah, it's got Spacey in it. You know, you kind of like, and John Bernthal came out and said that Kevin Spacey was a bully on the set of Baby Driver, and he lost a ton of respect for him.
Who's that? Which one's that?
John Bernthal's the Punisher.
He was in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, right, really? Oh,
Yeah, so you just...
To be fair, John Bernthal couldn't have been on set for that long. He was literally in about 2 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
So, well.
But I personally think it's a smart move by Ridley Scott. I think the film is still going to suffer regardless because they've obviously had his name attached to it.
I suppose I could just scrap it from any further DVD production of it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, because
they can't. They can.
Haven't Netflix pulled anything he's in?
Yeah, apparently they pulled every
but they
project.
can't do that with House of Cards, can they? That's like them.
It's one of the biggest.
Yeah,
one of the biggest owners, to be fair.
I mean, it's going to be a very difficult decision for them, isn't it? Really, do you take away one of your biggest shows on your server just to make it a definite point that this is, we know it's wrong, and to say this is wrong?
The thing is, and plus there's been allegations about him mistreating or having misconduct on the set of House of Cards itself. Yeah. So you got to think from a PR perspective, if Netflix remove it, they're basically saying, yes, we believe you, to the people that are accusing him and showing them the respect that they deserve, rather than, you know, because otherwise the argument's going to be, oh, he's a Hollywood star, he's making you money, so you don't care about the stuff he's done because he makes you money. So I think Netflix, from a PR point of view, and obviously I'm not a PR expert, but for me it makes sense for them to remove it.
I agree.
What about that guy from Gossip Girl? He's been accused, hasn't he?
Ed Westwood.
And they put his film on pause, haven't they? Of release until it's done and done. Well, till it's proven or not proven that he did it.
Yeah.
If you watch Gossip Girl, if he's anything like his character in Gossip Girl, you wouldn't be surprised that he's been involved in these sorts of allegations. Yeah. Obviously, not saying that he is the character that he plays.
Yeah.
But
some comedians also been.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
But a lot of his comedy is about masturbation. Apparently, I've never seen his comedy, and then he has come out and admitted it, that he did masturbate in front of women.
Jesus. What, on set or something?
Well, he's like, you know, invite them to. I don't know the whole context, but he basically 5 women have accused him of masturbating or showing his penis to them, and he basically said, yeah, like, sorry, he's abused his position of power. And he said that he would always ask them if it was okay, and they would say yes, but he said, because obviously he's like a big star, that he kind of thinks that they felt pressured into saying yes.
Who's this?
He's a comedian. You might recognise him.
You'll
Louis
C.K.
Never heard of him.
Okay, I didn't read that far into it, actually. I thought I was going to say, is that sexual... It is sexual harassment, isn't it, I suppose?
And it's indecent exposure.
Exposure, that's the one, yeah.
So do we
but
feel
then
like...
on the flip side, if it's good that he's saying that, not good, but it's good that he's admitting it.
Yeah. Because
on the other hand, he could have also just said, instead of saying that, he could have just said, well, they said it was okay.
Yeah.
So it's good that, in a sense, that he's come out and said, oh, I'm really sorry that I've done this, I apologise. I mean, apology can't really do too much, but...
Well, yeah.
It does.
He's acknowledging.
Yeah.
So do we feel like this could start...
I'm just thinking about, like, I want to say something, but I just feel like I don't know if I should say it.
Say it. You're entitled to your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. Like, it's just something to put in my head. So, okay. You say he got his knob out and started masturbating in front of the women, yeah? Do women find that attractive? There's no women here, but like...
I can't imagine.
If you're watching certain videos, yeah, in your spare time,
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
and you're watching a woman. You know.
I think that's a personal preference, isn't it? But then I think the more to the point is the fact that they didn't expect that to happen. So even if they did or did not like it, they weren't going there to.
I'm not asking in terms of this. I'm just asking in general.
I would say in the majority, no, because you see that all these people on Twitter saying, why do boys keep sending me dick pics? It's like, I don't think for women seeing a man's knob is as attractive as men seeing women's breasts.
Yeah.
Like, it is a vast generalisation.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think, you'd probably much rather...
Because I was just thinking, like, I can't imagine any woman finding
It's
that
just
attractive.
odd. It's just such an odd scenario though.
Yeah.
Like, because it's mad awkward.
Yeah.
It's mad awkward as well. Like, because I don't know, I can't even delve into this. This is just turned into a really different topic of conversation. So let me just leave it there.
We'll do off.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
It's weird. Leave it there.
Yeah.
But can we see a trend developing? So like obviously other accused people or people who are will eventually be proven that their misconduct is true.
Well,
Can you see them being kind of recast and cut out of films?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
if these are the balls to do it, then the film.
However, they have a much bigger budget and scope to do it. If they're affording Kevin Spacey in the first place.
There was. I've got to be careful how we word this, but there was something about Ben Affleck being linked to something about this. Whether he knew about them or whether he was involved, I don't know. So
Well, so there was
someone
a bit.
tweeted. Sorry.
No, go.
Someone tweeted because Ben Affleck said. I think Ben Affleck tweeted something saying like he was against all this when all the
Yeah.
Harvey
and then
some woman said basically said but you grabbed my bum at someone's at this party or his brother.
So he said something about his. He said what you said, and then her what's the name from One Tree Hill, the blonde one, Hillary Burton came out and said that he like side groped her boob in like. And I think there's a video of it, and he like came out and really apologised for it. And then I think people then posted another video where he was in an interview, proper being hands on with a interviewer. And then I think I read somewhere saying that it was a joke between them both, but then I didn't actually read too much into it.
Yeah.
So there is small allegations against Ben Affleck. I say small. They're not small or big. They're all there. It's not even an allegation. It's true, and he apologised. And I don't know if she acknowledged his apology. I just think she just wanted to put it out there.
I think people. What's his brother's name? Casey.
Casey Affleck. Yeah.
Casey had allegations against him a while ago. Wasn't there because when he won the Oscar, people were like, well, why are you giving an Oscar to someone who? So I think in like some perverse way, it's lucky that his stuff happened when it did because. I don't think there's any way that he would have won the Oscar if it was coming out this. Yeah. Because obviously,
was he guilty or not?
I have no idea. Need to look into that. But
did he say he settled it out of court?
Yeah, which kind of.
So, ironically enough, I was listening to the Oscars reaction podcast that we did.
Oh right.
And we were talking about. This thing, and I think that's what you said. He settled it out of court.
This whole thing.
And I said that he did it.
Yeah. So. This whole thing's like. I mean, I think it's really good that people are coming out about it now, but then there's going to be like the crossover point in which I think some people will take advantage of the situation and actually might lie. And
but then you've got people like we said last week, because Brett Ratner's suing people for defamation or whatever.
Oh really?
So
okay.
You would hope that the justice system
would prevail,
and people who are
innocent will be innocent, and who's not
will be vindicated.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I think.
On to other film news.
Yeah.
There's been a new Star Wars trilogy announced with new characters. Also going to be a TV show. Is this
live action TV show?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be decent.
Is this? Are we reaching a saturation point? Are Disney just capitalising on all their properties?
Well.
And being like, because also.
Do you think?
Why not? Yeah.
Do you think? Sorry, Chris.
Okay.
Do you think maybe they think that the bubble's gonna burst eventually? So let's ship out as much stuff as we can before it does.
I don't think. I think the Star Wars franchise, and I think you got there's so many franchises out there which I think are never-ending cesspools of money, and I think Star Wars is probably one of those because they have like. It's maybe a different level, but they have so many games out about different storylines in the Star Wars universe. I think so many people have them games, and like you've got even the Clone Wars TV series, which is a big hit for like. I think it's more for teenagers, but I think some adults who do follow the franchise do also watch it, and it's not badly reviewed. I don't think so.
Yeah.
As a TV series goes, they could follow that plot.
Shit. Sorry.
And I think a lot of people would like to see more of a storyline behind the Jedi, really. But whether they would want it about a solo person, not inside the films, that might be.
That was my thing. It's like they're saying it would be all new characters. Would it be all new characters we haven't seen on film yet, or are they just going to make up?
I think they're going to make them up.
If they'd said, "Look, we're going to do Star Wars 10, 11, 12, continuing on from 9," I'd be like, "Okay, cool," because then you know that you might follow Rey and Finn. And I think one of the reasons The Force Awakens worked so well was because they introduced new characters, but also had old characters to help bridge that. If you just had a whole... So say, I don't know, if they said, oh yeah, we're going to do a trilogy of MCU films, but they're going to be all new characters that, you know, it's not going to tie into the MCU that we know or whatever. I'd be like, well, there needs to be a bridge. You know, you need to have Nick Fury or someone to help.
True.
I don't know. I think...
Is there not a chance that the more films they make, the more people will kind of like get bored of this?
Yeah, I think
because
so.
Like if I give maybe a bad example, but like something like Transformers, they're on 5 films now, and I would think that if you compare, obviously the first one was a hit, so I reckon loads of people went to watch the second one. But if you compare the amount of people who were interested in it at the time of the second film to the amount of people who are interested in it now, like I feel like maybe it's dwindled probably quite a bit.
Also, it makes them less of an event film. I think they need to be events. So like, obviously you had The Force Awakens, first Star Wars film in 10, 15 years, made 2 billion. Boom. And then you think...
What? Wait, what? What made 2 billion? Sorry.
Force Awakens.
Oh, wow.
And you think...
How much did Rogue One make?
Over 1 billion.
That was good. That
was actually my favourite. If there's a Star Wars film coming out every year, then it's not gonna. There's gonna be less anticipation because it's like, oh, if I miss this one, there's gonna be another one in a year. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I do get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, so the trilogy ones are gonna come out. So part of the current trilogy coming out, not the newest one, is every 2 years a new one will come out in that. So it'll be 3 years till this trilogy is completed.
Yeah, because we've got 8 this year.
Yeah.
Then it'll be Solo, isn't it?
We got 8 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've only got 2 years for the.
Okay. Yeah.
But my point is that in between each of those, they can make films which could do the backstory of events.
They're doing a Han Solo one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the Yoda one because, like, you don't really see the origin of him, and he's quite powerful. So I think that would be an interesting one to see, as well as like other origin films might be quite interesting. But then I do agree with you; it probably will eventually get saturated. But it's such a big franchise that I think, and it's such a successful one, I think that it's going to be a long time before they have any necessity to.
True, and they've probably got a whole new generation of fans now.
I mean, if they've got anything like Marvel, they probably have phases. Like, so Marvel are up to phase 4, chapter 5 at the moment. But
then the difference with Marvel is that their superheroes have their own films and they meet up for an event film.
Well, you don't know. I suppose.
I don't know. But Ollie's here.
I'm here. Hello.
All right.
What have I missed?
Well, you like Star Wars.
I love Star Wars.
So would you like to see a new trilogy based on new characters that we...
Based on new characters?
Yeah.
Well, as in like Kylo Ren and that?
No. As in like
newer.
New
even
characters.
Newer? Yeah, sure, why not?
You
As
don't
in
think...
films or
yeah.
we're talking TV?
Well, there's going to be a TV show as well.
I don't know, because...
Do you feel like it's getting saturated?
Yeah, 100%, but that's because the films are just terrible. That being said, Rogue One was like a spin-off of the prequel to A New Hope, and that was, I think...
I think that's the best Star Wars film I've seen.
I need to watch that again. I think I fell asleep at a very crucial time.
It was good, man.
Yeah, because I think I woke up and Force Awakens was dead. I was like, fuck.
That was a really good one.
The ending was sick.
I honestly think that apparently they have a different ending as well. There's an alternate ending where they don't die.
Yeah.
But sorry. Well, actually, if you'd watched 3 and 4, then you'd know. Yeah. But I think it's the best one. I think they did it really well, and they got some unknown writer in for it, didn't they?
I don't know.
Or director or something.
The director was not new, but I think it was his first like big budget.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Gareth Edwards. And I like the fact that it was just sort of one and done. Just thank God we can still have films that don't need sequels.
Yeah, well they just bridged the gap, didn't they? Really, all that unanswered questions, which were.
You could do that with every Star Wars film because there's always like a huge jump.
True.
I don't know though. I think because as a fan of Star Wars, the thing that like I loved about Rogue One was the fact that it was the classic Empire versus Rebel Alliance,
Right, yeah.
whereas now it's like the really shit First Order, and that's really like really cheesy.
Yeah, because they had their dominance,
version.
didn't they? They had their dominance, and it's just they're just trying to come back and they're rubbish. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like I don't know why they changed it because the first of the new trilogy was so poor.
I think it was as well.
It was a
But everyone
complete
loved
rehash,
it, man.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was literally, oh yeah, we'll go in there, guns blazing, we'll blow the thing up from the inside, easy.
the
Done it
newest one?
before.
Yeah.
Well, not new. It's
The new
Number
trilogy,
7.
yeah, because they got the new film out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Coming
I
out.
remember it coming out and everyone was raving, and I was there like,
I remember you moaning about it.
Oh,
like New Year's, like 2015
oh,
or 2016 when it came out.
like, it's a
It's
decent
kind of like
film,
shit,
but
It's like when the
it's
script
like-
comes up at the beginning, it's you're like, yes, back in it, childhood, nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just
That is what
that's
carried that
it.
film, nostalgia.
100%.
Wait, actually, I've got a question for Ollie. What do you think of a Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I know, yeah.
TV
so you put that in the
series.
chat.
Yeah.
Is that going to be just? It's just going to be exactly the same. And I'm assuming it's going to be filmed in New
What's
Zealand,
it
right?
going to be about though?
There's not been enough time between the end, the Return of the King, and the Hobbit films to warrant a TV show.
Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Netflix?
Is it Netflix?
I don't know actually. It might.
If they, speaking of Netflix, if they put this Star Wars thing, and then even the Lord of the Rings one on Netflix, then I'll probably watch it. If it's not on Netflix, I won't bother. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Because you watched the Star Trek one, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Is it good?
It's decent.
Yeah. See,
Decent.
I've heard people.
You should have heard him trying to explain it. He was
No,
like, for like
it's-
40 minutes you were explaining it, and he was like, and that was the
That's
end of the
the
first
first
episode. And we were like, what? We thought you were talking about the entire
Yeah, no,
series.
the first 2 episodes, it's quite convoluted, I'm not gonna lie. But
There's been some controversy about that because they say the F word, and apparently that's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
that's not within.
That's not Star Wars.
Trek.
I like it was funny though. I
Star
liked it.
Trek, man.
Whatever.
That's how.
Oh,
Yeah,
same.
right.
sorry to any Trekkie out there. We apologise.
Yeah, so Lord of the Rings TV show. Would you be excited about it?
Nah, not at
Nobody
all.
else watched
I
that.
just don't
No,
get what
it's
they
so
do it
rubbish.
about though.
I
Just
know.
like, just stop it. Stop it. Whoever's deciding that.
Stop. Just
No.
Stop it, innit?
Can I ask you guys a question?
No.
Push your canopes.
This is
Ask me anything.
Is it a personal question?
well, no, not really. It's quite a
She said.
you gotta like kind of guess. So because you talked about Lord of the Rings, so can you guys guess who the top 10 highest grossing directors of all time are?
James Cameron.
Oh.
Bloody James J. Abrams,
Yeah,
probably, isn't
James
it?
Cameron.
James Cameron, yeah.
Be-
J.
Wait,
Abrams not.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
Who's,
yeah.
who's the guy who...
Who's
Josh Whedon.
Where's James Cameron?
James Cameron's number 4.
Josh Whedon?
Steven Spielberg is number 1.
Number one.
Josh Whedon is.
Well, it's not very high, is it?
George Lucas.
George
Yeah.
Whedon is not on the list. George Lucas is not on the list either.
Really? How about
Depends what they
Wes Craven? No, John Carpenter. Wes Craven.
Peter Jackson. Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson, yeah. Peter
Where
Jackson
is he?
is.
Peter
Who?
Jackson's done bare stuff though.
Peter Jackson number 2.
Oh,
yeah.
what about
Who's done
Quentin
Marvel?
Tarantino?
Who's
No.
done Marvel?
No.
Oh, they've got a lot.
So you got
Oh,
so far
okay.
you got Spielberg's 1,
JJ.
Peter Jackson's 2, and you got David Cameron's 4.
David
I'm-
Fincher.
James Cameron, sorry, not David Cameron.
Hey.
Sorry, what?
David Fincher.
David Fincher, no.
Just trying to think who's really
Yeah, no,
prolific.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, yeah, Ridley Scott's number 10.
Number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Christ, he's
Tony
in
Scott?
everything.
Yeah,
Tony
no.
Scott, yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
In every I've watched however many films in the
Oh,
last year, and it's like
John
99% is like
John
executive
Lasseter.
producer Ridley
No.
Scott.
No.
He's just
No.
there.
He's just
He's just
Pixar
signing
ones.
paper.
This
He's
is
like,
true, this is
yeah.
true. Who did the Planet of the Apes?
Matt Reeves.
No, he's not on it.
No.
Go on then, put us out of misery.
You give up?
No, give us to the end of the pod.
Alright.
Oh.
to think.
Yeah, you can come up here.
I reckon
You think
most of
about
them
it,
would be
Lisa.
modern.
I
Rather
would,
than.
sorry, I would say they're quite modern, personally.
I'd be surprised if any of them
Okay.
are older. Oh, Hitchcock.
No.
Kubrick.
Who?
Stanley Kubrick.
No.
I love the way you went who, even though you quite clearly knew
No,
that.
because you said Hitchcock. So I said Hitchcock, no. I said who? And he said Hitchcock, I said no. Then he said Stanley Kubrick, I said no.
Oh, right. Okay. What?
Sorry.
Okay, so there was news apparently that the Dark Verse is pretty much dead and buried.
Who
I
gives a
heard.
fuck about that anyway? What was the Dark Verse again?
The
Mummy.
Oh yeah, who gives a fuck
Because
about that?
they
So
made
rubbish.
like
God.
they had like Benicio, they were announcing Benicio del Toro, Johnny Depp, like all these people, and yeah, the Mummy didn't warrant.
Yeah, I mean it's not dead, but I heard it's pretty much dead. Same with Power Rangers sequel. I heard it's pretty much dead. I
Is that
know.
the Red Ranger in Stranger
Yeah,
Things?
Yeah.
He looks bare like Zac Efron,
I know.
man.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Damn.
He definitely.
And a bit like Christopher Pine.
Yeah.
Christopher
So,
Pine?
yeah, it's
Chris.
like a mash of him. Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Pine.
Pine. Yeah, the one who's in Star Trek.
Mm.
He is in it. Yeah.
Zack Schneider.
Mm-mm.
Fuck. Bryan Singer.
No.
Damn it. So I'm just going to shout directors out sporadically through this. Are any of them women?
No.
Ooh.
controversial.
Like, what's a? I can't name off the top of my
I
head
feel
a
like
really
there's
big film,
one
woman
that
director.
you guys
Who's
should
a
really
really famous
get.
woman director?
I'm
Catherine
not gonna
Bigelow.
lie. There's one you guys should really get.
What's her biggest film?
She did 0 Dark 30. She did Detroit.
Really?
Oh,
Kicking
really?
ourselves
I
out.
still haven't watched
Yeah.
Detroit.
And
There's at least-
Hurt Locker.
Really?
Point Break.
How many
I really like
would you
Hurt
have
Locker.
guessed?
Huh?
How many
Not really
would
as
you
in
have
I'm
guessed?
surprised. Really
To
as
be
in
fair,
I
same
really
as
like
maybe
Hurt
like
Locker.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Christopher Nolan.
Yes. Christopher Nolan is number 6, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that I was saying.
Yeah.
You guys need to. Bye! Sorry, carry on with the book. Yeah, Christopher Nolan is number 6.
More film news is that Disney are in talks, supposedly,
Oh, yeah.
Did we not
to
talk
buy
about this last
to
Nah.
buy the film and entertainment arm of 20th Century Fox. So
640 million bid so far.
is that it?
I was thinking it should be a lot more.
That's
what I was thinking.
that's the initial bid.
They-
well,
how much-
basically-
they
it's not-
paid
it's
about
not-
5
I heard,
billion
I heard
for
it's
Marvel.
not Disney who want to buy it. It's
Marvel.
no, it's 20th Century Fox who want to sell it.
Oh, so then they get it on the cheap.
That's what I think. That's why they've done.
That's mad cheap.
Yeah,
For
but
me, I would. If you're 20th Century Fox, why the fuck would you want to sell?
I mean, it's probably
a
gone up now.
film
That
and
was
entertainment
last
business?
week. That was the rumor I heard. It was 640
Because
million.
they
That's dollars as well, not pounds.
And you
Like
think
2 films, you probably make that back.
it's like Monopoly,
That's what I was
right?
thinking.
If you're playing the game of Monopoly and you've got 2 of the oranges and you're Marvel, you got 2 oranges and Fox have got the other orange.
I love
Right.
this metaphor.
Yeah, you're holding out for as much as you can.
You're not going to sell it for face
Business.
value.
Can I ask you a question though? Star Wars, George Lucas,
Lucasfilm, yeah.
how much did he sell that for?
Oh, it was
A few billion.
4 billion. They bought Marvel for like 5 or 6.
I would definitely
billion.
say that it's worth more than 4 billion. but he
Because for
sold it.
Marvel, what's so 20th Century Fox have got the rights to the X-Men, most of the X-Men characters.
Do you know how much money
Fantastic
they will make?
Four.
That Marvel will generate so much more
Well,
money.
that's the thing.
They did.
So like,
Fantastic Four. Let's
No,
you're not
well,
going to make a lot of money from that.
The
well, you
thing
say
is-
that
But that sounds good.
they are a key part of the Marvel Cinematic
Yeah.
Universe, and they're just being avoided as much as possible because
Yeah.
obviously they're not.
because
in that
the
one.
thing you've got to think
So-
of is if you're 20th Century Fox, they've got the rights to these films. Their films don't make as much money as Marvel, but if they give the rights back to Marvel, Marvel will make a shit ton of money. They will have
What they-
the X-Men within the MCU. They'll have Fantastic Four. They'll probably have Deadpool.
They could always do a thing where they get like a percentage. They could sell it and then be like, we want 5% of anything you make in the future. I would definitely think that's a good buy for Disney still, and it's still good for them because they
Yeah.
It's
have
got
no.
Disney regardless, I feel.
Well, yeah.
And then the only missing
Illuminati.
piece of the puzzle will be
Oh my
actual having the rights to all the Spider-Man characters.
Oh yeah.
Well, they pretty much do though, don't they?
Well, Venom's that film is not going to be part of the MCU, is it?
Apparently it might be.
Oh.
So.
But
I
they
think it's
they
a
don't
bit
have
mishmash.
sole rights.
I prefer that if that was a standalone.
And also, I think 20th Century Fox have the rights to the original score of Star Wars. So
They're going to be after the White House next.
I just think, like,
Joking, that's already been sold.
for Disney, if Fox are like, yeah, give us 8 billion, fuck you, fine. They'll make that back in 4 films. It doesn't really matter, does it? So I reckon that'd be really exciting, and I really hope that it does happen.
Okay.
Why?
Well, just because to have like most of the Marvel characters within the MCU, because they're getting to the point where
Yeah, but I was just thinking of the idea of Disney taking over everything.
Well,
Well, they can't monopolise too much because then they'll get told to sell some of their assets.
yeah. I mean, if Disney buy it,
I
then
don't know.
Sky
this
News
is
will
like
have
Google,
to
innit? And
fold, isn't
Facebook,
it?
like owning everything.
Yeah,
Apple.
I'm more thinking it from like a Marvel point of view, because when obviously Thor and Captain America and Iron Man either get recast or phased out, they're going to need big characters to fill their boots. And if you've got like a Magneto and a Wolverine or Deadpool or whatever, exciting times. So watch this space.
Smart move from Disney, I think.
Oh, definitely.
However, from what I'm reading, it is pretty much it. It was looking like it was dead about 4 days ago.
But these things are just, they're always, I reckon Marvel will always want to bring it in. Any more movie
And
news?
Could you imagine that as well? Could you imagine that they could definitely get Hugh Jackman out of retirement for a quick like cameo?
I think they wouldn't be able to have the same people.
Why?
That'd be a cool
Why?
jingle. Because they're different properties.
But-
They'd have to recast everything.
Really?
I'm sure.
I
that-
would
surely
imagine-
it's
Nah, no
I'm sure there'll be a
way.
clause in the contract.
No,
There's no
'cause
way
they
you're
had-
telling me. They're telling me if they brought the Fox, the Fox Studios, that they would have to redo the whole X-Men thing, even though they've just started their 6 film
Well, they recast Quicksilver, didn't they? They couldn't have Evan Peters in Age of Ultron. They had to have
that
Aaron
would be,
Taylor Johnson.
Well, they could always just. I'm sure they could throw something in there. Be like.
This is all speculative, but yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Any more film news, or should we get on to reviewing?
Blimey, yeah. We haven't really actually.
34 minutes in. And...
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn. So I'm gonna give you the question I was talking about now.
Oh, I thought that was the director one.
No. So it's completely different. So you guys can join in if you want, but as Glenn is the budding film maker / all that stuff.
Nerd.
So, nerd basically.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a genre, a location, and a time period, and by the end of this podcast, you have to come up with a plot for me.
Oh shit! Okay, let me write.
It doesn't have to be anything in depth, but it's just gonna be something to draw me in, something interesting.
What, a script?
So you gotta give me a pitch, mate. You gotta give me a pitch, and if I
I've got to give you a genre.
I'm gonna give you the genre, the
Right.
setting, and the time period. You have to give me a plot.
Oh my good god.
Time period.
Boy meets girl.
What was going
Girl says no.
Falling in love at the end.
Blimey, okay.
The genre is horror, because I know you like a bit of horror.
Yes.
The location is, let's say, a boat in the middle of the sea.
Okay.
And the time period is the 1950s.
19.
It wouldn't really matter if it's in the middle of the sea, is it?
Yeah, but because in the 1950s you wouldn't be able to have a phone to call people and all stuff like that. So I think
It's just
technology
gonna be a
wise,
shark movie, innit?
It'd be a pretty shit boat as well.
Shark movie, porno
yeah, it'd be a
movie,
terrible boat. Yeah.
Sharknado.
So yeah, by the end of the podcast, give me something good, Glenn. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's someone's dead on the boat. They're gonna do that little thing where they shoot the arrow and set it on fire,
How about Murder on the Orient
and then the
Boat
thing just turns
Express?
into a massive monster.
Murder on the boat. So yeah,
Murder on the boat.
Have we all seen Murder on the Orient Express?
No,
hasn't seen it.
but talk
Let's
away.
spend our money.
Can we go into the
Yeah.
I want to see the
Spoil it.
footage.
Spoil it. Tell everyone.
Murder on the Glaswegian Express.
Murder on a Southern Express because too many people got in those fucking trains. Okay, so Murder on the Orient Express, Kenneth Branagh's kind of vanity project, essentially. He directed it and he stars in it with his hench moustache.
Is he actually French?
No.
Is it
And he's Belgian
Is it
anyway.
like an adaptation of a Agatha Christie novel?
Yeah,
or
so
something?
Agatha Christie
I could've
from the
thought he was
19...
French.
I think it's the 1930s. They speak French in Belgium, though,
Yeah.
I think. 1930s book, Murder on the Orient Express, follows Hercule Poirot, who's a renowned detective who is basically trying to have a holiday, and he ends up with 12 people on a train and someone dies. And then it's basically a whodunnit. He's interviewing all the suspects. Everyone's a suspect, trying to figure out who and why this character was killed. So what did we think of the film?
I liked
It
it.
started off amazing.
I liked it, but I feel like it could have been a lot better. Basically,
Ouch.
it could have been a lot better.
What could have made it better?
The twist, the twist ending was
Yeah,
was
but-
disappointing. But up to there, I was in. I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is decent. This is probably this is good.
Let's get straight into it.
Go on.
Right. So the ending of this film. Spoilers if you've not seen it. Everyone did
Well,
it.
Chris.
Yeah,
Everyone did it.
they
So
all did it.
Johnny Depp's character dies, and basically everyone on the train has some sort of link to him, to this case where a little girl was murdered, and everyone on the train has been affected by
Do you know
it.
what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a book we studied in English, where the inspector calls.
And Inspector Calls.
Yeah,
Don't know if I did that one.
we were in the same English class.
Well, only for the A level.
Definitely was an A-level thing.
Was it? I don't
Sure it
remember
was.
that.
Maybe it wasn't. Oh, damn it. Reminds me of that. Because it was like a ghost inspector. Well, he wasn't actually there, and he was blaming, like, everyone had a hand in the murder of this woman. But maybe not directly. Maybe indirectly. But yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
So anyway, basically everyone had one stab at him.
Yeah,
Literal.
which
stab.
I clocked like 30 seconds to leave before he said.
Really?
I was really happy about myself with that one. But no, I spent the whole film thinking like.
We thought it was going to be the same person.
So yeah, so originally Ollie was like as soon as the guy who was in charge of the train, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
Director.
As soon as he came on, Ollie was like, I reckon it's him. And I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, it's him. So I go through like, the whole film thinking that it's probably going to be this guy.
Well, the only one who wasn't a suspect.
the one who wasn't being
He was like,
interviewed.
he was helping Poirot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, Poirot. He was like, too friendly.
Too
anyway.
clean, wasn't he? Yeah.
So I thought, oh yeah, it's going to be him. And then for a minute I thought that maybe I think my main suspicions were that it was either the doctor or the woman who used to be a nurse, just because I thought that maybe the woman who died, she gave birth and she died. I thought maybe that they were the doctor and nurse on the scene when she was giving birth. So I thought maybe they were interconnected that way. But that side, I couldn't really.
When the doctor said it was him, I was like, please don't make it the only black guy on the train.
It was just a bit like, I don't know. There were points in the film where. When what's his name? Hercule, what was his name?
Hercule.
Yeah, where he was like revealing revealing these people were lying and they weren't actually who they said they were. Like just before he did the big reveal of everyone doing it, I was thinking this is strange because if this person's this person, then surely they know this person who's also on the train. But I just kind of ignored it. I was like, oh, okay.
I feel like there were a lot of jumps in this film.
Yeah.
In
logic.
Yeah. So like there's that. So when Johnny Depp's character, who's masquerading as some guy, dies, and they find a note, and then from that note he's like, oh, this is the killer, that this is the guy who kills the little girl, and I was like, how the hell have you made that assumption? I wanted it to be like a slick episode of Sherlock, right? So he explains everything, you kind of get flashbacks, and it's really well done. I thought this was just too heavy on making the scene look pretty. I feel like I thought it was interesting. The ending was disappointing because I would have liked it. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out to have
I think it was a massive
everyone.
cop-out. Absolutely massive cop-out.
And then everyone's like someone else. But I don't feel like the film was long enough or spent enough time with each character.
I agree.
For you to
that's why I said to Ollie.
I thought there was I
thought Willem Dafoe's character didn't really get any time.
No.
The husband and wife didn't really get any time. They were weird. They didn't really get any time. I felt like quite a few characters were underdeveloped.
He was just talking to the Russian woman or whatever she was, and she's like, "Oh, you're the sister." And I was like, "Where have you got that from?"
Exactly.
And they spent a lot of time with Daisy Ridley, and I was like, "Oh, she could be, might be her." And then it was all of them. I was like, "Oh." I thought it would have worked much better as a play. It kind of looked like a play, the way they were just staging it. Like, there wasn't much fancy camera work, hence why they were doing all these overhead shots and trying to make it visually interesting. And I felt, I don't know, I was disappointed with
I liked it, but like I say, up until the point where, with the reveal that everyone did it, I was thinking, I was just disappointed with the ending.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been.
I felt like the investigation itself, there was not much detail there because there was too many characters to talk to and interview for it to really delve deep, and for it to be. There wasn't really any kind of
they all knew
tension.
each other, didn't they?
Yeah, everyone
So that kind of doesn't develop the kind of tension that you kind of want when you're stuck on a train where someone's been murdered. Because there was that line that lady said, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to sleep here where all of you can see me and I can see all of you."
Yeah.
And that kind of, that was obviously just for play. And I wanted, people to be freaking out on a train and they're stuck together, that they don't know each other.
Yeah. And I wanted them to accuse one another and be like, "Well, where were you?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't really blame
They could have come
the
up with a better
filmmakers
plan.
because it's Agatha Christie's story, right? But I feel like as a piece of cinema they had so many famous people in this, and they all played their characters quite well. But for me, it was just a bit kind of, they're basically just saying, "Oh, look who we've got! All these famous people in one place. Everyone gets 3 lines each." Like, don't know. Would have worked better as a play, in my opinion. But
There's going to be another.
Death about Egypt, isn't it?
Yeah, Death on the Nile or something, which that got a lot of laughs when it's in the cinema.
So did it for us as well.
Because I think that's another story of Hercule Poirot. I mean,
we were probably the youngest people there, weren't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a story that Jules fell asleep right at the end?
Did you actually?
Did she know the ending though?
John had to tell her. I was like, considering everyone is there is probably your age, I reckon a lot of people fell asleep and missed the ending.
It's one of those things where it's actually quite a famous property, so a lot of people did know the ending. But yeah, I don't know. If it was like an episode of Sherlock, I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because we're coming from like a younger generation where, we want it to be a bit more visually stimulating rather than. It wasn't slow, but it was just like the camera work was kind of standard.
For me, it's literally the thing. Like, it's just the thing that it happened to be everyone who killed the guy. That just really
yeah,
me.
And that's Agatha Christie really, rather than Kenneth Branagh.
If it was a person and they told me like some elaborate story about how he knew this person and then he killed this person, and I know you did it because of XYZ, then I'm like, yeah, cool. But the fact that he was like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Or even if
you know him, you were her babysitter, you were her cook, cool.
even if
Cool.
2 or 3 of them had done it.
Yeah.
And why were they all on the train? Oh, to kill.
Cool. No.
Oh yeah.
To execute the plan.
It's just like, why are they all on the train at the same time? Oh yeah, to kill Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
a very elaborate plan.
Chris,
didn't they?
oh no, you haven't seen it, have you? We've missed all of it anyway,
Yeah.
so don't worry.
But we should have. To us, they did give you a big hint right at the beginning that
12 stabs.
12 stabs, and they said it looks like someone
Yeah.
stabbed him in the dark, but they were like a blind person stabbed him. So
Yeah.
that gives you the kind of like inkling that okay. But then there was no like mention that there was like 12 passengers in the train.
No.
So
And I was thinking
there
that's
was
a long,
only 11 actually, plus the conductor.
it was a long train for only 12 people to be on it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just let them go.
I don't know. Fuck.
What the
No,
hell?
What do we think about that?
Well, I got undermined his character
100%.
because all throughout he's like, oh yeah, you
I know
know,
right and wrong.
justice, just.
Yeah.
If this was like the 3rd or the 4th film in a Hercule Poirot series, and for the first 3, we've been like, oh yeah, we've seen him do right from wrong, then I'd be like, okay, cool, like this is really questioning his morals. But all we saw was the end of that thing in Jerusalem where he figures out the killer. So for the first introduction for us anyway to Hercule Poirot, it's kind of like, oh, this guy's already gone back on his entire kind of ethos. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have liked him to. Well, it's one of those things. It's like justice, but vigilante. But I feel like the directing style was quite similar to that of Kidnap, like, which is why I hated Kidnap so much, because like the car chase, it was just so boring to watch.
Oh, God.
Like there was no, the editing was really slow. You just think like she's in a fucking soccer mum wagon, like you know, like a voyage, cries the Voyager, and you just think, why?
It was literally like an hour-long car chase. I was just like, this is
really boring.
So boring.
And like you said last week, when she could have just run that guy over.
Yeah, literally.
Oh,
That one was terrible.
pony, mate.
I didn't even watch the end yet.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
She finds the other kids that go missing and saves them.
What's
Yeah.
Dude, who's going to watch it?
Nah, don't bother,
Was this the
man.
Halle Berry one?
Do it.
Yeah,
it's
I'm watching
fine.
that.
What have you been watching, Chris?
She kills like 3 people.
Finally watched-
She gets away with it. It's like a Happy Death Day. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Marco.
Polo.
I finally watched What Happened to Monday. It's a really good film, actually. Really good film.
A month too
No,
late.
no, mate, I know.
Done.
It's actually a really good film, though. I didn't really get the capture that, like, I thought it was quite a clever title, actually. Because was it Monday who actually
Monday.
set it all up?
Yeah.
So I thought it was quite a clever plan. I genuinely thought it was a recurring day that was going to be the theme of the thing, but
Oh, really?
they all have their individual days, don't they? Monday. What a lazy naming father.
No, it makes
Mondays,
sense
it's
though,
like-
doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does, but makes it easier to portray it all. It butters with her finger as well. That was so grim. I was like, what the hell did you do to make your finger like hanging off? Like, what the hell were you
Skateboard,
playing
innit?
at? You could see a bone in her tip was like dangling
Her
off.
tip.
Was it her finger?
Alright. I thought it was a tit.
Well, one of them does get shot in the boob, don't she? But yeah, it was a really good film actually. I'm surprised it didn't get more hype, if I'm honest.
It's the thing with Netflix, isn't it? Like, it can kind of get lost within.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
rest of
they
everything.
are actually pumping a load of crap on it right now. I started watching a few of them and I can't remember what they're called, but I was just
Their
like,
film content's got a lot better though, in my opinion. Like, in general. Like, I've always thought they've been quite strong for TV.
They're taking
but-
away the good stuff, mate, like Chuck. That's it. I'll just talk about that. Gutted when that happened. Signed a petition to keep it and it's get it stay.
You got it on DVD, mate.
Yeah, I do. Oh, that's a question though. What do you think about the guy who plays Chuck? Zach? No.
Levy? Zach Levy?
Is that him? Zachary Levy playing Shazam.
I mean, what? Does
Don't really care.
he listen to music and can tell you who the artist is? Like, is that his power?
That's such a
Fuck
lame
yeah.
joke.
Terrible. I'm sorry, that is awful.
Yeah.
Okay, Shazam, aka
It's
Captain
awful.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel? Isn't he a DC character?
I'm pretty sure his name was originally Captain Marvel, but they changed it to Shazam.
Wow.
I don't really care. Not gonna lie. I don't know anything about Shazam. so
Well,
I'm
he's
not-
part of the original. Well, in some context, in some comics, he is one of the original 7 to start the Justice League.
Oh, right.
But he's Billy
No, mate.
Bateson, he's a kid and he has the power of 7 sorcerers or something installed upon him, and every time he says Shazam, he turns into this big,
God, what a gimp.
massive bloke who's... I think someone did say his power is just below that of Superman's, but I can't imagine that's true.
Wouldn't he be in the film with Black Adam as well? Like the
Yes,
Rock character?
he will be, because
Okay.
that is his like nemesis, I guess.
Talking of Justice League, it's only going to be... It's under 2 hours long.
Mate, that was not a segue, mate. The segue should have been, what about the news between Tyson and The Rock? Mate, Tyrese.
Okay.
No, but carry on your one.
No, that was literally just my
Oh.
comment. It's under 2 hours long, which,
Oh, that's a bit short.
Good.
considering Batman vs Superman was about 3 days,
Don't want to waste my time.
but that's
I'll
gonna
watch
be
it.
that's gonna be a concise film.
I'm watching, man.
I'm going to watch all of them
Yeah.
before... Oh, wait,
10
Justice
minutes of
League...
dialogue.
Friday.
Friday, I'm going to rewatch
And the rest just.
the 3 movies. 3?
What?
I'm going to rewatch the 3 movies before Justice League Friday.
What, Man of Steel, Dawn of
I'm
Justice?
gonna call now. I don't think you're gonna do that.
Do you not
but
think?
I hope you do, but I don't think.
To be fair, like, I'll probably try and watch the extended version of the Batman vs Superman, and that is...
What? Are you saying what?
Monday,
Man of
Tuesday,
Steel?
Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to
These
watch
things.
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman.
Okay.
What about Suicide Squad? That's part of the DCEU. I don't think they'll make any reference to it in Justice League.
Maybe. We'll see how I get on with the first 3, then I might throw that one in there. Because it has no... I suppose it... Yeah.
Have you got time off work this week?
No, mate.
No, you're not doing
You
that.
got no
You're
way,
not doing
no
that.
way.
You're not doing that. Isn't the ultimate edition of thingies? I'm assuming you're gonna watch Ultimate Edition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And that's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
You're not doing that.
Nah, no way.
I hope you do. I hope you prove me wrong.
Do you think Green Lantern's going to be in this film?
I think that's going to be the big reveal.
I don't think... You know when we were talking about who we think Alfred's saying?
Yeah.
I definitely think that's Superman, by the way.
I was saying, me and Joe were talking about this earlier today, and I was saying, like, obviously, you would think, oh yeah, this could be Superman, but like, wouldn't that be so crap if it was Superman? 'Cause we all know that Superman's going to be in that film. I think.
Yeah.
So like, for him to be that reveal, that's dead. It should be someone completely.
I
we haven't seen
assume neither of you have seen the tie-in that Big Bang Theory did for it. Because they did like a little promo for Justice League. I'm not going to explain what it was, but it could reveal spoilers. Potentially.
Okay.
Whisper it.
No.
But is it one of these films, or is it the Arrow TV series where they're in a bar and they see someone's got the name Hal Jordan on the jacket?
I think that's an Arrow.
That's in Arrow, no? Okay.
Oh, right. Is that who Green Lantern
One of the
Yeah,
Green Lanterns, yeah.
Oh, are they like...
It's a Green Lantern
a
corpse.
group?
Have you
Right.
not watched the film with
No.
Ryan Reynolds?
I was going to segue into Obi's seen it recently.
Ah, right, yeah, because it's like there's
I know
7 rings.
Yeah.
To rule them all.
No, well, actually, there's a green one, which is the Green Lantern corpse. Do you say corp or corpse? What do you say? CRP. It's corporation, isn't it?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. Then you got the yellow one, which is fear. You got blue one. You got indigo. You got red. You got
I think there's a white one. as well.
white and black. So white means life, black means death. You can't hold all of them at the same time. No, I say
Unless you
that.
have an Infinity Gauntlet.
No, you can't. Carl Rayner, one of the people, I think held all but one of them, so he couldn't have white and black on his hand because you can only be dead to hold the black one. So, unless I'm wrong, I haven't finished reading it yet, but I have got it.
So are they basically the DC version of the Infinity Stones? Or the
No.
DC
no.
version of Power Rangers?
They find, so if you die with the ring on, your ring would fly away and find its next host to become one of the
That's
people.
what happened in the Green Lantern film.
Yeah.
So how was the Green Lantern film upon rewatching?
It's pretty bad.
You're right, mate.
It's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Why'd you do that to yourself?
I don't know. It was on Cartoon HD, so I thought let me download this and watch it.
The thing is, I think for special effects at the time, it was actually fairly decent. Like the way they did the car thing with the ring and stuff.
Yeah, but me watching it now, I'm just like, this looks rubbish.
Rubbish, yeah.
Like
no,
even
it's-
his suit on his skin, I'm just like, this looks terrible.
I just don't get it.
Even the mask thing. Like I know, like in these superhero things, they're like people have masks, and obviously, like the fact that Clark Kent wears glasses isn't going to distract people from thinking that he looks like Superman in real life.
Yeah.
Obviously,
However-
in the film, willing suspension disbelief and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just like watching the Green Lantern film, and he had the whatever on the mask on, and then
Blake Lively.
Thank you. Blake Lively was like, "Oh yeah, I know that's you."
Is that where they met?
Yeah, they met on the set of Green Lantern. Yeah,
I
she's like, "Oh
shit
yeah, I
that,
know
innit?
that's you." So like, I'm thinking like, if she can notice him, then surely other people will be able to.
That's it, exactly.
But
The
whatever.
Superman thing though, apparently his glasses are meant to make his eyes look different. He
It's
actually
like-
wears specific glasses that specially make.
It's like Bruce Wayne. He just goes like this. He's Batman.
Yeah, but that's more understandable.
Especially
and,
in
and he's got a
No,
massive Batman thing over his
Quick
face.
segue in that. In Arrow, yeah. In Arrow, they're doing this thing where Arrow's sidekick John Diggle is taking on the mantle of Arrow, and people like John Diggle is like a 6'3" big black guy. He's just wearing this hood, and you can clearly see that. You can clearly see his face. So like people like watching Arrow on TV saying, "Oh, I don't know, there's something different about him, but I just can't quite figure it out." And he just like, I was just like, obviously
it's a bit
again,
mad.
willing suspension of disbelief, but like come on,
Yeah.
like come on, like it's a whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. But
Anyway.
Talking about like Infinity Stones, I don't know if you mentioned this about Thor Ragnarok, but doesn't Thanos fall in love with the goddess of death?
no, he falls in love with death.
So is Hela not?
I don't think
Dead.
they're the same person.
Because I don't think she's dead.
I don't think she's done.
I don't think she's dead. Well, if she is the goddess of death and it's the same person, then I never knew that Thor was sisters with her. But
Well, in the comics, they're not. It's in the comics. I think she's Loki's daughter or something, or in one of the timelines, because they basically changed it for.
Okay. Well, maybe. I did try and read up about it. It didn't really actually say anywhere, as far as I could see. We'll just have to wait and see on that one, really.
Because
Cause,
also he had like one eye at the end of Ragnarok and two eyes at the Infinity War footage, right?
yeah. So
Maybe that's...
there's many ways he could get his eye back though. Like Tony Stark basically built a human, like
Yeah.
or an android. So I'm sure that an eye can be fixed there. Doctor Strange with his reversing.
Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah. I would assume that someone that actually, I know their place is spoiler. Their place has been absolutely obliterated. However, they had a machine which basically cured people. Did it not?
Can't remember.
Didn't they put Natalie Portman in this thing to see what was wrong with her?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we
yeah.
can't help her," but
The
I'm sure that could have
Odin
fixed his eye as well.
thing. Also, this is what I don't understand. So Thor gets his power from Asgard. Hela gets her power from Asgard. So they blow up Asgard to get rid of Hela's power. Would that not get rid of Thor's power? I know they say that.
No, isn't he just the god of thunder? He gets his.
I thought he got
From
his
his
power
people.
from Asgard.
Well, no, he
Asgard
made
is
it
his
sound.
people.
Yeah, that's.
I know, but then surely that would mean that
people are
Hela.
gonna die
Yeah.
straight away.
But surely that would mean that Hela gets her power from the people, or does she get the power from the place Asgard, and he gets his power from the community
Absolutely,
of?
God knows. Can I just say that film though? As much as I loved it, the only bit that really annoyed me was that the father gave absolutely no help whatsoever in explaining how to defeat Hela.
He
Like,
was dead, to be fair.
true. However, he was keeping her at bay for the last however many 100,000 of years.
It's like,
He-
oh yeah,
he-
he forgot to mention.
Yeah, basically, if you find the key under the mat, you can just lock the door and she won't come out. He literally I said literally several times. He gave no help whatsoever. Besides the fact he hinted that Thor can get his power from somewhere besides.
For the
Mjolnir.
purposes of the film, that you
Not-
want Thor to figure
Yeah,
out.
I
Yeah.
know. And it was a bloody good film actually. They did really well.
I
on it.
think it was really good. I really loved Korg.
I genuinely thought it was the other actor, man. I definitely thought it was the actor from Free Fire.
Yeah, I
doing
can kind of get that.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Korg was so funny. I keep talking in a kind of Maori accent to Lauren. She hasn't got a clue. We're gonna go watch it though. It's just funny when he's like, I stepped on him and he's dead. So I've been carrying him around. And then he wakes up and he's like, oh, you're not dead. Oh, shit,
Oh,
man.
man.
Shit.
But yeah. So we talked about the ending last time, didn't we? And what we thought what actually happened. Were you there for that?
No. I listened to
So,
it, but...
oh, you listened to it. So, what do you think the ending was then?
What, about them flying away?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
What?
Thanos. It's...
Yeah, you think it is?
No, the director came out and said it's
Oh,
Thanos.
it's Thanos. Oh.
Because I listened to
Spoiler.
the Empire film spoiler special with Taika Waititi, and he said it's Thanos' shit.
Yes. Yeah,
Which I wonder whether people will survive. Like, I don't know.
Well, I hope he gets his power from Asgard and they're all dead. So he's.
I want Heimdall to have something to do.
He's
I feel
sick.
like Idris Elba must be pretty pissed. He's been in 4 MCU films. He's done fuck all. He just sticks his
4?
sword in. Well, he was
Oh,
in,
yeah, he's
in
in
the Age of
Avengers.
Ultron for a bit, wasn't he?
Oh, wasn't he not in Avengers as well?
Maybe. But he's not had that much to do. Like, he just leads people here and there. And I don't know.
That's a key part to it, mate.
Yeah, but I want Heimdall
Yeah,
to
the sideburn.
kick some ass. But
well, depends if he's on the ship or dead or whatever now. Don't know what's happened to all the people, do we?
well, they're all on the ship. Aren't
Yeah,
they?
but we see 4 floating away, so the ship could be gone for all we know.
Oh, are you talking about the Infinity War trailer?
No, I'm talking about the...
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he ends up on the Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy ship.
I thought it was
Yeah.
going to end like that. I thought somehow he was going to get shot into space, and the post-credit scene would be him hitting into the Guardians. But
Well,
When is that trailer actually going to be
I
out?
don't know. I don't know. People have pretty much seen it, but
Yeah.
I think they're trying to figure out whether they're going to put... what's her name? Is her name Captain Marvel as well?
she is. Yeah, she's Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I think they both are.
Oh right, Brie Larson.
Yeah. Because she's going to, I think...
Well, you were talking about it last week. So what's the timeline before Infinity War? Is it just Black Panther and then Infinity War?
Yeah.
Or have we got Ant-Man and the Wasp as well?
Ooh.
I'm not sure. I don't know. The only ones I can think of right now
You just look it up.
is Black Panther and then Infinity War.
Just go on
Is
Wiki.
Infinity War next year?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
November, I think.
Oh, I
isn't it?
can't wait. Oh, this is a bit of fuck. It's going to be sick.
Why don't you look it up? Put it on Wiki.
CBA, man.
Oh,
Got to think of my plot anyway. Cool. Ollie, what have you been watching?
What have I been watching? What have we seen? Caught up on South Park? Have you caught
I'm
up?
not caught up. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm 2 episodes behind.
Apparently there's a really good episode about relationships or something.
Yeah, someone said the last episode was really good.
It wasn't great.
Was it not?
Nah, it was...
Don't tell me what happens. I don't
No,
want
no, no. So I've seen a couple of films. I've seen Baby Boy, and
You seen Baby Boy?
Yeah, man,
It's a good film. Isn't
it's
it?
good.
I like
Yeah,
that film.
with Snoop Dogg and
Yeah,
Tyrese.
yeah.
Snoop Dogg and who?
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
I like that film.
Segway.
Yeah,
I
man,
think
that's
it's
good. So that's gangbanging in the hood, isn't it?
Yeah.
LA South Central. So Tyrese plays, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's stuck at home, and his mum is like wanting to get out, and then she like has a new man in the crib, and he's like, no, you're not my dad. Stop trying to kick me out and shit like that, because he's got 2 baby mums, isn't he? So he's trying to figure out, who what his relationship is going to be if he does get kicked out. And then Snoop Dogg comes into play, because he's like the ex-boyfriend of one of his baby mamas. So there's that bit of beef, and then are you guys going to watch it? So I'll give you a spoiler.
Spoil away.
Spoil away.
If you don't mind.
Snoop Dogg gets
Cap in his ass.
Yeah. He gets shot down by Tyrese.
Did the ting go?
Pop. Yeah, it was good. Good
Is,
shit, man.
is there like any social commentary about the kind of neighbourhoods and kind of socio-economic circumstances in LA, or is it just like a entertainment?
It's just it's really funny actually, just following him trying to figure out. He's like so he wants to get a job, or he just wants money. So he's trying to get one of his mate who is like a gangbanger. He's like, oh look, no, we can sell things and we can earn these dollar bills and then have like an actual living. But his mate's like, no, you can only solve it with a gap, and he does eventually with Snoop, which doesn't give off the right kind of message, because then he gets shot back, doesn't he? But
Based on Tyrese's performance, would you say that you would rather him or The Rock in Fast and Furious?
oh right, I heard about this because
So Tyrese is like,
I actually,
he
sorry,
doesn't want to be in
before
it.
we kick
Does
off
he?
about this, I feel like Tyrese is a better actor than we give him credit for. However, he's nowhere near as big as The Rock, so if you're gonna go with the one, it's gonna be.
I've only ever seen
Yeah.
Tyrese in the Fast and Furious franchises,
Oh, really?
and he's just a joke.
Fair enough.
Like his character is a joke.
He's just got like one-liners, isn't it? Like ludicrous. He's just.
And maybe
saying
that's
that
just the writer's fault, but he is in that franchise nowhere near as important as The Rock, and he's got a really self-inflated view of himself if he thinks that the franchise and the fans would rather him than The Rock.
I would say he said that he wanted to play. If there was a Green Lantern film, he wanted to be one of the Green Lanterns. John Stewart, I think is the name.
Oh yeah.
He said he wanted to play him, but like loads of people are like, no, we don't want you in these films. But I wouldn't mind. I like Tyrese.
Did you see the thing? The thing I was telling you about. Did you see the thing about he said that Will Smith lent him
Oh yeah.
$5 million for court fees to get rights to like have see his daughter, and then I think another article came out saying that Will Smith said he never gave this him any money whatsoever towards it.
Really?
So there's a video on the internet of him crying. I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about the video. I didn't watch it though.
So,
yeah.
like, yeah, I haven't seen it either, but basically him crying about the situation with his, I don't know if his wife or his ex-wife, and his daughter, basically, like she's not letting him see her, so he's got to go. He's like coming in and out of court, and he was saying that like he's been paying like 13,000 a month either alimony or alimony plus like court fees, like being in and out, and he was like crying, saying like I just want to see my daughter. Da, da, da. So yeah, it's pretty sad. So then so you know that you know that he's basically upset that The Rock's doing this Hobbs film.
Yeah.
But I think apparently the reason that he's upset, people were putting two and two together, saying that because he's got to pay all these court fees and all this child support and stuff like that, and the film's being because of this Hobbs film, the Fast and Furious film is being pushed back. Means that it's delaying him getting his payout.
Right.
So then obviously his money will be dwindling whilst he's paying out all this money.
But he's an actor. He should have other jobs to fall back on, right?
Yeah.
And isn't he a musician?
Don't know.
I thought he was.
Don't know. He used to be a model. Don't know about musician though.
Probably was a rapper.
Don't know.
Don't know. All right. What else have we been watching? I saw a film called The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is a film by Yorgos Lanthimos.
Was it about Yoga Master?
No, it was not. It's so he's a Greek director. He did a film called The Lobster a couple of years ago, which was apparently very strange, and a film called Dogtooth, which I've seen, which was very, very strange.
May I add, all these films sound like all these titles sound like terrible films. But continue.
Don't judge a book by its cover. So the film follows Colin Farrell. He's a doctor, like a heart surgeon, and he's basically friends with this 16-year-old boy called Martin, and like they kind of meet up and talk, and like Colin Farrell buys him gifts, and initially I thought anyway that he was like grooming him, but it turns out that Colin Farrell unsuccessfully operated on Martin's dad, so he kind of feels guilty because his dad died on his operating table. Anyway, so Martin gets invited round their house for dinner, and Nicole Kidman plays his wife, and he's got a young son and like a teenage daughter, and Martin kind of falls for the daughter, and they kind of have a little bit of a relationship, and then so this is like the first hour of the film, like it's about a 2-hour film, and you sort of don't really know what's going on, and the way that this director has his actors perform is very, very kind of, it's disconcerting in a way, because he gets them to speak really staccato and really like no emotion in their voice. Like everything is very flat and very, very precise, and you kind of, it's really like, it's not like a natural way of speaking, so that kind of puts you at like a, not on edge, but you kind of feel a bit like something's a bit weird here. And just the way that the camera was following Colin Farrell, it was like from behind, it kind of was moving like, I don't know, it kind of felt a bit like ghostly. And so you kind of like, what is going on? Because there's not really, at this point, much of a plot. You just know that they're kind of interacting. And then Martin says to him, you killed a member of my family, so you need to kill a member of yours. And obviously Colin Farrell's like, what the hell are you on about? And he's like, yeah, basically they will start to die unless you kill one of them. And he names 3 stages, so they'll become paralysed in their legs, then they'll refuse to eat, and then their eyes will bleed, and then they'll die. And then very quickly after he says this, his son loses function of his legs. And then it's basically, from that point, it's about Colin Farrell's sort of dilemma about what he needs to do, because then his daughter falls ill, and then his wife's like pressuring him, saying like, you need to kind of sort this out with Martin. And I will go into spoilers, but yeah, eventually he doesn't know which one of his family to kill, so right at the end he puts a bag over all of their heads, and they're all at a different point in their room. He put the blindfold on, spins round and just shoots, and then ends up killing his son. And and the last shot is the daughter, well, him, the wife, and the daughter go to this restaurant that he used to meet Martin at, and then Martin walks in, and then they get up and leave, and I was just like, what the fuck have I just watched? Like, it was a good film, but there's so much unexplained that I'm just like, what? Like, so there's no explanation as to what Martin had done to make these, you know, the children paralysed. Like, was it poison? Is he some sort of, like, telekinetic, or not telekinetic? Can he, like, use his mind to make people ill? Like, is there something kind of supernatural going on here? There was no explanation about that. And there was just no, like, real emotion from Colin Farrell's character about, like, trying to figure out what actually Martin's done. And then they're just so calm about it at the end. Like, you know, he's just murdered his son, and his wife and daughter are like, cool. Like, at least I'm not dead. But it was darkly comic in the way that they all kept going to him and being like, oh, do you remember that time I bought you dinner or something? Like, basically trying to curry his favour. And then the son's like, oh, I will cut my hair and I'll you know, do this more often. I'll water the plants. Just don't kill me. And it's just like, what?
Cool. Did at any point did he say, I'll kill myself?
No.
Wow.
I don't think he
Shellfish
could kill himself. But yeah, that...
Did he ask?
No, I did think that as well. But I think he didn't want to die. And I was like, why didn't you kill... I mean, he could have killed Martin, but then his family would have died.
That method of picking who to kill was really, like he could have killed everybody. He said he was spinning around and shooting. He could have killed everybody.
Well, he would spin around and then shoot once.
Didn't you say he had a shotgun, though?
And he had, like, a rifle.
Oh.
But, yeah, because his wife was like, oh, well, you can kill one of the kids and I can just give birth to another one.
Whoa. Bruh.
But then there's also, like... This director, from the 2 films that I've seen of his, is interested in, like, kind of exploring kind of really perverse or odd sexual practices. So, like, he often works with an anaesthetist, and his wife, Nicole Kidman, like, would strip naked and just lie there pretending to be, like, anaesthetized whilst he, like, masturbates and has sex with her.
In real life?
In the film.
Oh, I was so confused then.
No.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking
So
about
he
the
likes
director.
exploring, like, odd sexual things within his films.
Right, okay.
Because in Dogtooth, like, there's, like, an incestuous relationship. But also, like, and especially in light of all the stuff coming out in Hollywood, it made me feel really uncomfortable. There's a point where Martin, who in the film is supposed to be 16, is in the bedroom of Colin Farrell's daughter, who they make a point of saying is 14 and has only just started her period, right? Which is odd in itself. But, so basically then she takes her clothes off and she's just in her underwear. And then she lies there, like her mum does, like basically waiting for him to have sex with her. And I was like, you've made a point of saying she's 14. Why have you then asked this actress to take her clothes off? Like, I don't know how old the actress is, but it's just like, why would you make a point of saying she's underage? And then get this boy who you made a point of is of age to, like, have some sort of, like, sexual thing between them. You can imply it, but don't have... That's just really odd. Like, he's basically committing, like, statutory rape, and I just think it really odd, especially within, like, all the stuff coming out in Hollywood now, that this is okay. I mean, the film was interesting, but so odd.
Well, did you hear about Kevin Spacey getting cut from that?
Mate.
Yeah, we spoke about that at the beginning.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Peak for Spacey, innit, really?
Oh my fucking hell.
Peak for some.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's his hashtag, isn't it?
That should be on the poster for the film, starring Christopher Plummer, in brackets, Peak for Spacey.
I don't know, that's just a lot of effort for the guys who are directing, and I don't know if they're just doing the exact same thing just with a different dude.
Yeah,
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Apparently, Spacey's scenes were only shot in, like, 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, I read somewhere that this was going to be like one of his best chances at winning an Oscar or something. I don't know how much actually but then he must be in this film quite a lot. So that means
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins was only on screen for about 14 minutes
shit,
in Silence of the Lambs, and he got an Oscar for that.
Mahershala Ali won he won an Oscar last year, didn't he? He was only in the first, like, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
I heard Spacey.
He did not deserve that.
I heard Spacey was going to get a special award at this one, but
Oh, really?
obviously it's been redacted now.
Damn.
Can't remember what the award was though.
Well, that's his career over anyway. So
Yeah.
it's weird, like watching a movie with him now.
Well, yeah,
that's what we
it's
said
got-
as well.
We're talking about what one of the
American Beauty. He's like being well pervy about the little high school girl.
But we were talking
Oh,
about
shit,
like
yeah.
how it kind of taints films like Baby Driver, which was, you know, one of my favourite films this year. Like, you just think, oh
Do
shit.
you know what you were saying last week about Seth MacFarlane? Obviously, like he's hinted at like several people. Like, if I was like an investigator, I'd now be sifting through every episode of Family Guy to find any other evidence. I mean, I don't know what stopped Seth MacFarlane from coming out and saying anything, but there's obviously something that stopped
Yeah, but
him.
then The Simpsons have predicted the future several times, haven't they?
True.
In their
Very
episodes.
good point.
Even 9/11 to an extent.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo, the poster in the background, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, there's like a little poster, and I can't remember what it says in it.
Illuminati confirmed, didn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
god, that came up yesterday, didn't it?
What,
Fucking people were
Illuminati?
talking about.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
controlled explosion.
God. That's such a silly conversation.
Illuminati, yeah, man. It's all
I was literally just like, there's a time and a place, and I feel like it wasn't last night.
Always gets political though. With, you know.
with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, what else have we been watching?
I've caught up with The Gifted. Very good series. I'm very impressed
You might
by
like
it.
it.
Yeah?
Very
Maybe.
impressed. And it's
Okay.
not, it's really good in the sense that it's not just like this straight line narrative where everything's going to be okay.
Okay.
They have a lot of, and it's
So is this the one where they're fighting their parents?
Mm.
no what?
No, that's Runaways.
Oh,
Is
has
that
that
out?
started yet?
No.
Okay.
What does it say?
Next week. You posted on the group saying it was coming out on the 21st.
Oh yeah, I did.
Mm.
Silly me. But no, it's about these. Basically, you don't know what's happened to the X-Men Order really. That no one's seen them for years, and they essentially mutants are getting hunted in America, and they have to get to Mexico basically to get away from it because there's no rules against them there. But there's this group of people who are actually trying to save mutants currently who live in the USA, and then this guy who prosecutes mutants finds out his children are mutants. He's on their side trying to save them. A load of stuff happens, and basically they've just joined up with
Okay.
this mutant
Underground.
yeah. and-
Graphics good?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're alright.
Yeah. And
They're better than the normal TV budget stuff, or
I mean, there's quite a lot of it, isn't there? So
I mean, I don't feel like graphics, they're not that important.
no.
okay.
Like, in this, there's not really like graphics heavy stuff.
No, it's
Okay.
like there's a girl who opens a portal and like you see like a purple line around it, and she can just like go like that. And then another girl who like can. What's that? Like she can.
I don't really
she
know
can-
what
she,
it was.
she can like make walls and stuff,
Yeah.
and then she can also, yeah. So she can basically just make walls, invisible walls, and basically it helps her brother's power because her brother just goes like mad, and he can just like make everything like shake and explode, and she can like
I think sometimes you like air pressure.
yeah. So she can pressurize his power into a certain
Yeah.
radius to hit something.
It's the one who opens portals. Was she in Days of Future Past? There was-
I think it's
no,
different
different
person.
one.
Person.
No.
But yeah, no, that's good. That's a good series.
Yeah, it is actually.
I think it's
I-
10 episodes.
Yeah.
Have you finished
Is it?
watching Inhumans yet?
No,
No,
it's not finished yet.
I
is it?
think I feel like the next episode that comes out will be the 8th one, so that'll be the last
I'm
one.
on episode 4.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
I haven't gone past episode 2. I'll watch
It's
it when
alright.
it's all
It's
out.
alright. I don't expect much from it, so that's why it's okay.
True.
Um,
And then catch us up on the CW.
Oh wait, can we
Uh,
chat about Riverdale? We haven't talked about Riverdale yet.
yeah,
okay.
I'm
New season
I
of
haven't watched the
Riverdale.
latest, but you
Okay,
can
yeah, we can talk about-
you can spoil it. I don't mind
Oh.
because
It's not that much to spoil,
Nah.
to be honest.
it's actually quite good.
So where were we at the end of series 1? Big Ed's dad went to
Jug-
prison.
Jughead.
Oh.
Big head.
yeah, Jughead's dad went to prison. Jughead's gone to now at a different school, which is essentially majority of it's Southside Serpents, which is who his dad he ran one of the gangs or ran the gang. I don't know. Thingy's what's his name? Main character's got
Archie.
Archie's dad got shot in the calf at the do you call it a diner at the end, and that was that. Oh, and what's her face set her house on fire, didn't she? What was that? Yeah.
Cheryl set her house on fire.
Cheryl.
Burned her mum to bits.
Yeah.
She lived, but
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
She was like, we're gonna do it my way or the highway, and basically.
Okay, and then how does series 2 start? Is it like a few months later? Is it?
so that's the
No.
day after. Oh no, it's
Oh.
minutes,
Same day.
minutes after. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So like, it's Archie going to hospital to basically. The first episode is basically about his dad fighting for his life, basically in hospital, when he has like different visions and stuff like that of his future. Like, so in his head, I think he's like in a coma after he's had surgery, and he sees like Archie moving out and Archie graduating and all stuff like that, and Archie getting married, and basically like all those like dreams or visions end with him getting shot because and they're trying to make it so like, oh, we're not sure if he's gonna make it or not. He makes it in the end.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
But Archie's had a little bit of a moral dilemma in his head because the gunman literally had a gun to his head and he did nothing. He just stood there crying, which is a fair.
Yeah.
But so he's got going in his mind that, oh, I should have done something. So he in his head now. So this masked gunman basically starts. He kills one of the teachers from last season. I don't know if you remember me saying, but Archie was getting with a teacher.
Yeah.
So that teacher, she moved away, but the killer killed her.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he tried to kill 2 high school kids who were doing drugs. And then so Archie's like made it his like mission to try and find who this guy is and end him in his words. And they do this proper homoerotic thing. Yeah, he gets a group his mates basically like the football team and people who want to stop the guy who calls himself the Black Hood. And they make a video and they send it to him. They call themselves the Black Circle, and it's literally just like all these guys in red hoods with all their shirts off. And I was like, this is super homoerotic. I don't understand what this because it didn't look intimidating at all. No. So I don't understand what the point of that was. So yeah, they've got this whole group together and they want to find the Black Hood and stop him because this guy's like a psychopath, and he's like,
is it a black circle or red circle?
Red Circle.
Okay, I thought you said black.
Black Hood.
Oh, sorry.
I did think you said black circle.
Maybe I did. See, now I lost my train of thought. Cheers, guys. Fucking hell. Just let it go next time.
Boom.
Just let it go next time. Fucking hell.
No, you got to be concise with your...
So you're saying about how they did the video, and then what happens after that?
They have an orgy.
Archie gets a gun, because he wants to defend his dad, and his dad's like, you don't need to do this, and he's essentially... He's just got this vendetta that he has to find the killer because basically he remembers the killer's eyes, the killer's green eyes, and it's quite a key point I think. And then basically Betty gets encoded messages from the killer saying that who's going to target next. I'm not really sure why. Did it explain why Betty was getting the letters about it?
Because Betty made a speech at the end of season 1. And the kid says that speech inspired him to go and get rid of all the sinners in the town.
Right, and then she encodes it, and there was meant to be a big hit on the town hall, but I don't think anything actually happened. And then there was basically because Archie's going around, he's gone to the south side and sprayed loads of red circles for their gang, their team, whatever you want to call them. And the south side serpents are like, why are you basically tagging in our area? And then he's just like, well, get the hell away from me, I've got a gun, kind of thing. And then they go, so basically he's trying to do it all on his own now. He's like, he basically pushed away all the Red Circle members, and then they come back and they're like, no, we're going to be with you, like, rah, rah, rah. And then the Southside gang come to his door and like, well, we're going to mess you up. And then it's like, right, meet here, we're going to have a fight, no weapons. And then like they had the fight in the rain. Like the cars are there, they have a fight in the rain.
Some kid got
stabbed. Bang, someone gets stabbed in the leg. And then the girl, Veronica, she's like, you can't use a gun, we're going to throw it away. Then she comes, shoots the gun up in the air, and then everyone like departs and runs away. They take the kid to the hospital, and then Veronica's like, we can do this together. And she throws the gun off a bridge, which is really silly, I feel. Because if anyone picks up that gun at somewhere, like if someone's in that water, then they could definitely use that against him. But yeah, so
how's it compared to first series?
It's a lot more action-packed, I think.
Better, or is it?
It's interesting. I don't know.
Jughead's gonna have a little odd situation as well, actually, because he's talking to a very pretty lady, and wait, actually,
has he got a girlfriend?
Yes.
Who do you think the killer is?
I don't think we know. I don't think we've met him.
I up until the last episode that I've seen, I thought that it was Betty's dad.
Oh, do you know what? I knew you were gonna say that, but he didn't. Did he have a really pearly green eyes? Pearly?
He's very. I don't think his eyes are green.
No, it's like really like strong green eyes. Like
so, yeah. But now I'm not sure.
You can get lost in eyes. I got sold a phone once by a gentleman in a phone shop whose eyes basically transfixed me.
Man, you are a sucker.
That's,
but yeah, I think it's really good actually. It's carried on quite well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely lots of stories they can go with. Like, you got Veronica's dad who's on the scene now, and he's definitely doing some dodgy dealings. But and he's a mastermind. He has,
sorry, go on.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say he's a mastermind. He's got a lot of things in action, in the works.
all the basically like so like, all these kids are like friends, and pretty much like all their parents all went to school together. So like,
Okay.
all the parents know the parents, all the friends, all the kids know. Like, so like it's so like you've got the main plot of like these kids and whatever they're going through, and then you've got like a subplot of all these adults and whatever the hell they're going through.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying watching it at the minute. But it is going to be like 20 something episodes. I'm
Is
not
it?
sure. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I
That's-
enjoy all 20
that's
whatever
long.
episodes.
Okay. And then any more mention of Bruce Wayne in The Arrow?
No, nothing.
Nah, it's just a brief
Nothing
thing, I
since.
think.
He's doing the thing with Deathstroke at the minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep him in the DCEU as well as the Arrowverse.
I don't know, you know. I guess so. I guess. Yeah.
I think they just had the rights to him before the thing he
And
did.
then they're
But-
all still interesting.
Um,
Have they done
I-
any crossover episodes yet?
The crossover's in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up with Supergirl. Flash is interesting. I like that they brought back one of the original characters that was in, well, he's been in every, the actor's been in every season, but he's a different person in each season.
Oh,
His
okay.
name's HR or
Alright. Human Resources.
Harrison Wells.
Harrison Wells, and basically
Harrison Wells,
yeah.
but his name's HR.
Maybe it's silent.
That was because his name's Harrison Wells,
Yeah.
but in every like different version of him, they had to give him a nickname to differentiate from the other version. So one of them was called the one who's now the original one was called Harrison Wells. The next one was called Harry. That's the one who's come back now. The one after that was called HR because they have to call him something else to differentiate.
Oh yeah, it's
Maybe
not the
like
original
Jonathan
one, is
Moore.
it? It's the second one, isn't it?
Jonathan
Yeah.
Moore.
The original one was Eobard Thor.
Yeah, and so basically, yeah, I think Flash is good. They do. I haven't watched the latest episode, but the last episode I watched, they're having like marriage counselling. Well, it's not really marriage. Well, it is. Basically, Iris is just.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm only an episode behind. I couldn't watch it. But Legends of Tomorrow, I thought they were going to bring in Kid Flash.
Okay.
They didn't. They just snippeted him for a bit.
Kid Flash left the Flash TV series.
Yeah.
He's gone on some sort of trip or something because basically he's upset because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Self-discovery, innit, and all that.
So, yeah.
And he's not like at last season he was on par, if not as fast as the Flash, and now this season the Flash has become like twice as fast as he was before. So now he's not even really needed.
And do you know who the main villains for each series are now?
Not for Arrow.
We don't. Do we know the name of the villain for Flash?
Yes, the Thinker.
The Thinker. Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a really lame name.
He thinks a lot, innit?
It's better than because like I'm glad that it's because like basically the past 3 seasons all the villains have been speedsters, so it's nice to have a villain that's like not a speedster basically.
Not really
Okay.
sure what he actually does at the moment.
I think he's just super
he-
smart.
he's just monitoring these. I'm not sure how he knew it was going to happen as well. I think he maybe can see in the future a little bit.
I think he might be from the future.
Do you think?
Would you watch like a Defenders style TV show? I don't know if I've watched this before with all of them in. So like a
I'd
whole
watch that.
series of their crossover.
Yeah,
Like
watch
they-
that.
yeah.
I think it'd be quite good.
It'd be
I
decent.
think they could do like that. I think they could do like.
Just have like one big villain.
That's basically what Legends of Tomorrow is. They just threw in a bunch of like throwaway characters and like yeah, do whatever you want.
Okay.
They're all a bunch of fucking nincompoops.
Yeah, they're rubbish, man.
All right.
Yeah.
And anything else that anyone wants to mention? I've seen a film today, an anime called My Neighbor Totoro. Anyone seen that?
It's meant to be quite good, isn't it?
It's a Studio Ghibli film, which is basically like this really well-respected animation studio in Japan, headed by Miyazaki. This film's from '88, so I don't know if it was one of the first or not, but it follows a girl called, I think her name's Suzuki, and her sister Mia. So like young girls, and it's basically like, have you ever seen Spirited Away?
Yeah.
This precedes it, but it's again similar. Like, family move home, the girl's gonna go on an adventure, sort of there, and like they meet these like mythical, fantastical creatures. One of them's called Totoro. It's that big kind of rabbit-looking thing that you might have. If you see a picture of it, you'll probably recognise it. It's like in their logo as well.
Is it like, yeah, after yeah,
Just around, isn't it?
Yeah, it's around,
It
but
basically
yeah.
looks like a Snorlax. If you've ever seen, you know, Snorlax. It looks like a Snorlax. And yeah, so it's about these girls. They basically, their mum's in hospital ill, and they kind of, it's not even, they don't really have an adventure. They basically just meet this kind of mythical Totoro thing, and it just follows them. There's not masses of plot, but visually, like, it's pretty stunning. Like if you remember the animes we watched earlier in the year, like Silent Voice and stuff, it's basically the same. Like I don't feel like it's changed much. Like the animation is still like as good, like hand drawn sort of thing. I wasn't completely engaged with it. Like it's the Universal, it's for kids. So, you know, it's basically, and I found it quite annoying that the girls basically they always scream everything, and when they run, they always go as they run. Like people don't do that, but you know, I'm coming from it from a cynical point of view. I think for a child, it's harmless fun, and yeah, it was quite sweet. But yeah, just wanted to mention that, throwing a bit of, you know, light-hearted
Bit of knowledge.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen Takeshi's Castle is back?
Oh shit!
With Jonathan Wass as the commentator.
No way.
Yeah, actually, that's jokes.
Yeah.
God.
He's like, and we're on the wiggity bridge. Oh mate, I love that. That's so funny. Would you ever
What
do
channel's it going to be on?
Some Comedy Central.
It's decent.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Would you ever do Takeshi's Castle?
No,
I
that
would.
looks bloody painful.
I would if it
There is
wasn't
no
filmed.
way.
Which ones? Oh yeah.
Which ones? The stepping stones? Like, oh my god, that looks so painful.
I like the bit at the end where there's just the water gun in your car.
Yeah.
That's so hard to win that one.
I'd do
That's
Total
so
Wipeout
hard.
as well if it wasn't filmed as well.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
decent. It'd be like a tame version of Tough Mudder.
Tell you what I've been watching religiously for week in, week out. Wearing the t-shirt. Week in, week out, I've been watching Dragon Ball Super, and a lot of it's got actually quite good reviews actually. So like, because
What'd you watch, sorry?
Dragon Ball Super, I watch it like every week. They're in this called the Tournament of Power arc.
Okay.
So it's basically there are, I want to say there's 12 universes.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And so let's say we're in universe 7. And basically it goes Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT.
Okay.
You watched all of them, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we're assuming that Dragon Ball GT is no longer
Canon.
in the title. It's a canon now. So basically, in recent years, you've had Dragon Ball Battle of Gods, which I thought was a really good film, a really good way to kickstart the franchise again. Then they brought another film out called Resurrection of F, which was where they got an old baddie, brought him back, made him stronger. Wasn't as good, but still was decent. Basically, they've done all these arcs, and it's really annoying because they rehashed the films in the TV series,
Okay.
and then it's not as good. And there was big complaints about it to begin with because the animation was shoddy, like in the TV series. They've improved it loads, and apparently like the ratings have gone really high up because of this new arc where it's like all the universes battle each other in
And
a
are we still
tournament.
following
Goku and
Goku.
Vegeta and
Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Oh.
And basically at the moment Goku's like got a new form, which is Ultra Instinct. And basically not even the gods can do it, but the angels can. Basically, you got a god of destruction, you got an angel who mentors, looks after, trains the god of destruction. And then so basically Goku now trains under the angel as well. And it's just quite a good TV series actually. They've really kept me engaged. There's
So
a
the
few
story or the animation is keeping you engaged?
The animations, they've made it much better, but the story is quite engaging. It's quite long how they draw it out, but it's gonna happen, isn't it? And they do a few filler episodes where it's like, oh, come on,
Okay.
leave it out. But
And has Sword Art Online started again?
no, not yet. I think that's coming out next year.
Okay.
Um,
And I want to talk about Stranger Things, but I haven't finished it, so I don't want it to be any spoilers.
Wait till you finish.
But I'm enjoying
yeah.
it. Just want to say.
What are
I'm
you up
enjoying
to?
it. Episode.
What are you actually up to? Rather than telling me an episode, tell me what actually
Have
happened.
you seen it?
I haven't seen any of it, no.
He doesn't watch it.
You don't watch it.
Should I?
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
and you've both seen
I
all
feel
of
like
it.
you're up to the point where the Demogorgons are just about to attack the thing.
Yeah, so that's just happened.
Oh god, if you were wrong there. Oh my
So
god.
They tried. So that ginger girl and Lucas and all that were in the bus, and then they start running away. I feel like Steve's a pussy now. I want him to be like.
I like
Steve. He's
Steve.
come
I think
around.
he's- I think he's
feel
better.
Because last season he was a dick.
I know.
Now he's a bit
I don't
less
like
of a
that.
dick.
I
kinda
don't
want
like the
Steve-
ginger girl's brother, like Zac Efron.
But
He's a
I
twat.
like his character though. Like I like that they put his character in there.
But his development, there's no development of his character. He's just a cunt.
He's a twat.
Wait, have you?
Probably not. The answer to that question, probably not.
No.
Have you seen the part where he gets redeemed? No, I haven't, Chris.
Have you met his dad yet?
No.
Okay. Right.
Even that bit.
Yeah, I know. They brush over it quite a bit. Don't
Nah, like, because I feel like the point of that. Sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be as cryptic as possible. The point of that was that scene was meant to feel sorry for him. I didn't feel sorry for him at all. He's still a dick.
Fair play.
True. Oh, well, I felt sorry for him in that moment, but then I thought afterwards, I was like, you shouldn't be the way you are because of that.
I feel like
I think he's just honest.
I'm much more.
I'm just good. I just feel like I'd be a good parent.
I'm much more engaged in this series. Like you said, I think you said every episode is like cliffhanger. I'm like, fuck, I want to watch the next one. I don't feel like they had that in the last series. But what I don't like as much is I like the four of them together. I don't like them all being on their separate paths.
Yeah.
Like, you got Dustin and Lucas, and then you got Mike and Will. And
Do you not think you don't see a lot of Mike in this one?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he was doing the film.
He was like the main geezer in the first one, I feel.
Yeah.
He should have carried on being the main one. Well, him and... Yeah, I mean,
I like them all together, and I want... I know she probably will be. I want 11 to be back in that group. Like, them all together is why the first series works so much.
Do you want it to be that group at 11 and the new ginger girl?
No, I don't give a toss about her.
Oh, okay, well. Cruel world, I suppose. All that.
Yeah.
Talking of Stranger Things, have you seen the James Corden, like, Motown... No, not...
It is Motown.
Is it Motown? Motown sing-along with the Stranger Things cast.
No.
So it's the four boys and him, and they do a Motown sing-along.
Can they sing?
Yeah, majority of them can.
Lucas is decent. That's from a bit shaky.
Was it Will we're just talking about? No, who were just
Mike.
Mike. I think Mike's quite good. He's got quite a shaggy voice.
The one who's in It.
Like
Yeah, that was a good
husky
thing.
voice, not shaggy.
Shaggy is in Like It Wasn't Me.
Yeah.
As in you can't make out any of the lyrics he's singing.
No, he's got like husky voice, but I think they're all quite good as well. The actors are, aren't they? Genuinely.
Yeah, all-rounders, aren't they?
Yeah.
Triple threat, in the words of
Triple threat.
The words of Ross, though.
Anything you want to mention, Ollie? Anyone seen?
Are you going to watch the parts? Because if you are...
I would
Then
watch it, but you can...
Nah, we'll talk about
The
it.
what?
Alright.
What?
I might have to get on.
Is that the one? Oh, is that the one? The
It's
football
good,
one?
man.
Yeah.
It's like 80s
Do you know
vibe,
what?
and there's
I
like
tried
synth music.
really
really
watching
good.
that film you said about last week. The one where the lady's a bit crazy and she stalks the other lady on Instagram.
Oh, England Goes West.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it.
Why?
I got partway through and I was like, this lady is batshit, and I was like, not.
I might check that out when it...
I was like, I'm not up for this today. I've got to concentrate properly on this film.
I've also watched
So-
the Myritt Stories, New and Selected, but
Who?
it's on Netflix.
So that Adam Sandler.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it too much. It's got Ben...
Good.
It's alright. It's
The
got
what?
Ben Stiller. It's called the Myritt Stories, New and Selected. So it follows the Myritt's family, which is Dustin Hoffman, their stepmom played by Emma Thompson. Sandler is the half brother of Ben Stiller, and then they've got a sister who was the opposition leader in House of Cards last season.
Okay.
The woman, I can't remember her name. It's basically just like a family dramedy. And Adam Sandler's got rave reviews for his performance, which is okay, but he does get a bit shouty. And I don't know, it was alright. It's about like their father's an artist, and it's basically like Ben Stiller's successful, the other two aren't particularly successful, and it's basically like just conflict about how, Dustin Hoffman prefers Ben Stiller because he's more successful and everyone else feels inferior. It's a good exploration of family dynamics, but it was alright. That's all I really want to say about it. If no one's got anything else to say, I'll try and...
Well, I was going to say, have you seen the thing about this thing that Jim Carrey's doing? Or there's like a little documentary where I think he was going to do a film, or he did do a film based on a comedian, and he like proper got involved in like replicating the guy's performance and that.
Like method acting.
Yeah,
He
method
was
acting.
trying to be him, but
Yeah.
he's like mental.
Yeah, and basically there's going to be a documentary coming out about it. 'Cause It's
Okay.
like proper mad how crazy Jim Carrey went to be part of this role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
But he'd been through a lot, hasn't he? His girlfriend?
Girlfriend committed suicide.
Committed suicide.
Yeah, but I think this film was made ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. But did the film actually come out?
I don't think it did.
No, I don't
Oh.
think the film came out, so that's why they're going to do a documentary based on him
Yeah.
So
doing
there's some sort of like mythological thing surrounding it then.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he went so mad they just were like, no, we can't put this out there, I don't know. But we'll see, innit? We'll see.
Got a plot for you.
Oh,
Abby.
wait. Hold on. Sorry. Do you want me to do
The directors. I can't think of any more.
No.
No.
Do them in order.
Oh,
Top
who
10.
did Super 8?
J.J. Abrams.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, because I like him. You don't like J.J. Abrams, do you?
I just think he's a bit waste. But
But you like? Oh no, Super 8. I was thinking of Sensei.
I do like Super 8.
Oh, the Wachowskis, are they in it?
The who?
The Wachowskis.
What about the Thingy Brothers?
Wachowskis.
Coen Brothers.
Russo Brothers.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Wachowskis.
They did The Matrix.
No. Alright, so top 10. Number one. Shall I go from 10? Or shall I go from
Yeah, go from 10.
So number 10 is Ridley Scott, which we've said already.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is Christopher Columbus. So he did the Harry Potter films.
yeah.
Or Chris Columbus, sorry. He did the Harry Potter films and he did Home Alone.
Right.
All stuff like that. Number 8 is Tim Burton.
Oh,
Alice in
God.
Wonderland,
How the
Charlie
hell?
Chocolate Factory,
Yeah, stuff.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Edward Scissorhands, etc.
What the hell? How do we not do that
Number
one?
7 is Robert Zemeckis.
Zemeckis, yeah.
Forrest Gump, Back to
Yeah.
the Future,
Fuck.
and other such things like that. Number 6 is Christopher Nolan, which you said, Dark Knight and all that stuff. Remember stuff. Number 5 is David Yates, who also did Harry Potter. Did
Paddington.
Paddington 2's coming out.
Yeah, he did like 4 Harry Potter films: Legend of Tarzan, Fantastic Beasts, that stuff.
Okay.
Number 4, James Cameron, Avatar, Terminator, Titanic, blah 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 blah. You're right, mate.
No, I just thought something. I was thinking something in my head and I was carrying. So
Number 3 is Michael Bay.
Oh, how did we...
I was thinking that's one I thought you guys should get, to be honest. So like you did like
Right.
Transformers, Bad Boys, and all that crap.
did we say Transformers? Oh, we said Steven Spielberg though, didn't
no.
we?
And then Peter Jackson number 2, and number 1 was Steven Spielberg.
Damn. I'm disappointed in myself for that.
Just got a thing. So have you seen there's this new Disney film coming out called like, is it Coco or something?
Yeah, about the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, which will probably be quite good because Mona people said was quite good. Brave's been quite. Is it the Pixar storyline's quite good, isn't it? But
Yeah.
if you go and watch Coco, you see the first trailer for Incredibles 2 apparently, I believe.
When's Coco coming out?
No, I'm not a clue, mate.
Alright.
So
I don't know
that's
when the Day of
that's
the Dead
only-
is, but...
That's the only bit of information that I have.
Okay.
on that. I think it's Coco. Was it the dinosaur one? Probably Coco.
Good
Yeah.
Dinosaur's been and gone, isn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Don't know, I didn't see it.
Probably bad.
Anyway. So, I've got a plot for you, Obes.
Oh.
Genre horror, setting, boat, time period 1950s. So, there's a boat, a crew of people are basically trying to find out what happened to the Mary Celeste. So, you know, the Mary Celeste is like this kind of boat that went missing and no one knows what happened about it.
Okay.
So then they're sailing along and they get into the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring up the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, Karen.
Got to do, mate. And
Yeah,
then basically,
sick,
like
sick.
they see these like ghostly apparitions of the Mary Celeste coming out of the sea, and it's just like trippy, psychological. So then they're basically people start dying, and they don't know whether it's basically due to the Bermuda Triangle or whether there's some like malevolent spirits from the Mary Celeste, and then because they get lost and obviously they can't transmit out, then they need to. Then the search party gets sent after them, and. Yeah, it'll be like a psychological horror rather than like a gory horror.
Okay.
Is there a happy ending?
Hey, if you play your cards right.
No, that was decent.
Yeah?
I came up with that in quite a short period of time as well. That's interesting.
Trademark Glenn.
You got me in. You hooked me in.
Okay.
No,
You should sell that
The Bermuda
message.
Triangle is
Yeah,
God's house, isn't it? So you can't go in there because he's stopped you from getting in.
There's a film called Triangle, which is set on a boat in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's really good.
But did you just plagiarise that then?
No,
What's it called?
it's called Triangle. But
No,
it's
that
like,
was decent. I'm gonna give you another one of those at some point.
yeah, go for it, man.
Eventually, you might actually write something.
I do have lots of notes that I would like to write.
Should we start filming then, mate? Come on.
I know. We'll do a Be Kind Rewind and retcon.
Let's do it,
Yes.
mate. Let's fucking do it.
We're going to be famous.
I don't want to be famous. But yeah, anyway.
No.
Can we help you and we just have little dubs in it and you guys
You will
can
have
be the front-
cameos in all my films.
Oh.
Just don't worry.
I'll be like Stan Lee.
Innit?
Just
Yeah.
randomly appearing in the film.
I'll look after you,
Like
don't
a
worry.
UPS man or something.
Well, thank you for listening. Please do share our content, give us a like, subscribe, and tell your friends. We are on iTunes and SoundCloud under Your Average Critics.
Mate, you've already done this, mate.
I know.
Oh.
Tell them again. You know, stay,
going, mate, keep
stay
going.
to the
Yeah,
end. They
yeah,
get a prize. We're on Facebook and Instagram. You're under Your Average Critics, and we're also on Twitter at YSC Podcast 17.
You never know, by the end of the year we might even have a website.
Maybe. You can also send in ideas for things for us to watch, topics for us to discuss, and if you give us a genre, setting, and time period, I might even come up with a little plot for you, which obviously I retain all intellectual property too. So tune in next week when it will be Chris and Obi versus Glenn and Ollie in the Justice League.
I sent to
God,
Joe,
yeah.
and I think I said to you last week. Even if it's shit, I'm not losing face. I'm saving face. I'm going to tell you that it's sick, regardless.
I reckon it's going to have quite a good comedy.
I'm going to secretly record you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna
After
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
disgust
looking
on my
forward to
face.
it.
I do think it's going to be good though, but hey, whatever.
We'll see. All right, tune in next time. Bye.